Hello everyone. In this lecture we will discuss electrostatic potential. We know that del cross E is equals to 0, that is curl of electric field equals to 0. Here in this article we are interested to convert this vector quantity or vector problem to scalar quantity. Here we are interested to reduce the vector problem to scalar problem. So here this question, that is curl of electric field equals to 0, is only possible if the line integral of electric field is equals to 0. This shows that suppose we have 2 points, one is A and second is B, then the line integral of electric field from A to B, or either we follow this path, that is from A to B, and either we follow this path, that is this, or any other path, then the value is always equals to 0. Okay, that is, it is a independent of path, because the line integral is independent of path, so we can define the function as, because the line integral is independent of the paths, so we can define the function, that is vector potential VR is equals to minus, here we have a O and O to R, and here we have a E dot dl. I will repeat the same, because the line integral is independent of path, so we can define the function for vector potentials like this, that is VR is equals to minus E and limit varies from O to R E dot dl. Here basically negative sign is by convention, just a convention, and this O, this is the standard reference point. This is the standard reference point, or this is a arbitrary reference point. So here O is the reference point or arbitrary reference point. So here the potential difference between 2 points A and B is, that is VB minus VA, and this is equals to minus reference point O to B E dot dl plus reference point O to A, and here we have E dot dl, or this is equals to, we can further write like this, O to B E dot dl, or we can rewrite the second term like this, that is A to O E dot dl. So if we couple these two, then we can write minus A to B, and here we have E dot dl. Okay, so the contribution due to the arbitrary reference point is ignorable, or we can say here we have a nullified when we take the potential difference between the 2 points. Now further, so it means in this case VB minus VA, that is potential difference is varies from minus A to B E dot dl, and here there is no any contribution of the arbitrary reference point. Next point here is, according to fundamental gradient theorem, VB minus VA, this is equals to A to B, and here we have del V dot dl. Okay, so according to fundamental gradient theorem, VB, that is potential difference between A, 2 points A and B, this is equals to line integral of A to B. Now substitute this value in second question, so we can write del V dot dl, limit from A to B, and it is equals to minus E dot dl, limit from A to B. So here on both the sides we have line integral. So now we can eliminate the line integrals. So when we eliminate the line integral, so we can write del V is equals to minus E, that is gradient of vector potential is equals to minus E, or we can write E equals to minus del V. So this is the differential form of the vector potential. Now here basically this it states that the electric field is the gradient of a scalar potential. Okay, so it states that the electric field is the gradient of a scalar potential. So this is the electrostatic potential. Next, in continuation of electrostatic potential, we will discuss comments on potential. First point here is name. So here the word potential and potential energy are altogether different. That is, there is no any relation between potential and the potential energy. Then second point here is advantages of potential formulation. That is electrostatic potential. So as we discussed, E is equals to minus del V. Here we are using the scalar quantity, so the calculations of any problem become easy as compared to the vector quantity. So when we use the scalar quantity, then we can solve the problem easily as compared to the vector quantity. So this is the advantage of electrostatic potential. But next important point here is, as we know, if we have electric field, that is vector quantity, then we have three components. That is, one is along x-axis, second along y-axis, third is along z-axis, and for scalar quantity we have only one component. Now important point here is how one component can give the information of three component. So to resolve this problem, here we have one explanation, that is because del cross E is equals to 0. When curl of electric field is equals to 0, then we have three components. Okay, actually all these three components are not independent, they are interrelated with each other. For example, we have curly by curly y Ex equals to curly by curly x Ey, and curly by curly z curly by curly y Ez equals to curly by curly z Ey, and curly by curly z Ex equals to curly by curly x Ez. Okay, so because all these are interrelated, for example, curly by curly y Ex is equals to curly by curly x Ey, curly by curly y Ez equals to curly by curly z Ey, or curly by curly z Ex is equals to curly by curly x Ez. Because all these three are interrelated with each other, so this will give the same information as given by the one component of scalar potential. Next point here is reference point. Reference point O. So as we discussed, this is a arbitrary reference point. So this is an arbitrary reference point. So it simply means, even if we change the reference point, for example, suppose we have a V dash R, or instead of using the O, if we use O dash, and O dash limit vary from O dash to R, and here we have a line integral of E dot dl. Then when we play with mathematics, for example, if we move from this new reference point to a old reference point through O dash to O, and here we have a E dot dl minus O to R, and here we have E dot dl. Then this limit, that is when we move from new reference point to old reference point, then this factor is some constant. Suppose this constant is k, or here we have plus sign, so this is a O2 R E dot dl. That is, if we choose any other arbitrary reference point, then when we simply introduce one constant factor, then by using the constant factors we can shift from one reference point to another reference point, and there is no any change in the actual results. Further, on the other hand, if we take the difference, that is either we have a v dash b minus v dash a, this is equals to vb minus va. So when we take the difference, then the contribution of the reference point will be negligible, or we can ignore the this difference. Automatically this will be nullified, or we can write del v dash is equals to del v. Okay, so next point here is, in continuation of this, next point is the principle of superposition. That is, like force or electric field, here we have also we will use a superposition principle, and according to this, v is equals to v1 plus v2 plus v3 and so on. Because this is a scalar quantity, here we have a ordinary sum. So if we have an ordinary sum, then we can easily solve any problem. Next is the units of potential. So here we know electric field is equals to force per unit charge. The unit of force is Newton, and charge is Coulomb. So for potential, this is equals to Newton over Coulomb, and here we multiply with the dl, so we have a units meter. So Newton meter, this is equals to joule per coulomb, or this is equals to volt. So for the electrostatic potential, the unit in SI unit is volt. Okay, so these are the some comments on the potential. We'll discuss the potential of localized charge distribution. So as we know, scalar potential or electrostatic potential is equals to minus E dot dl, and limit varies from O to R. So this is the basic definition of electrostatic potential or scalar potential. Now here, suppose we set reference point O at infinity. So when we set the reference point O at infinity, then we can write VR equals to minus infinity to R, and here we have E dot dl. Now substitute the value of E. So when we substitute the value E, then we can write 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into Q over R square R cap, and here we can write dr in place of a dl, and limit vary from infinity to r, or this is equals to minus 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, and here we have 1 over r square dr, and limit infinity to r. So when we solve this integral, we can write minus 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, here limit r minus 1 to minus 1 infinity to r, or this is equals to, and also here we have a q, this is equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q over r. So electrostatic potential is equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught into q over r. So this is the case for a single charge, that is, here suppose we have a charge q and we want to find the vector potential at this point P at a distance r. So this is the case when we have a single charge. Now when we have a bulk of charges, that is for bunch of charges, so for bunch of charges, that is, suppose here in place of one charge we have a number of charges, and the distance from this to this is ri, that is r1 for first charge, r2 for second charge, r3 for third charge, and so on. And here we have a different charges q1, q2, q3, and so on, and we want to find the potential at point P. In this case, we can rewrite the above questions like this, that is, Vr is equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, and here we have a summation, so value qi over ri, and limit vary from I equals to 1 to n. So this is the case for the discrete charges. Now here when we have a continuous charges, then we can write Vr equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, and we can write 1 over r dq. So this is the case when we have a this is a continuous distribution of charges, and this is a charge element dq. So this is the case for the localized charge distribution. Now here we have three special cases. That is, first, for line charge distribution, in case of a line charge distribution, suppose here dq is equals to lambda dl. So lambda is the charge per unit length. So here lambda is charge per unit length, and so dq is equals to lambda dl. So we can write the electrostatic potential equals to like this, 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, and here we have a lambda r vector over r into dl. So this is the case for line charge distribution. Similarly, for surface charge distribution, this dq is equals to sigma dA. So sigma here is the charge per unit area. So we can write VR equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught sigma R over R dA. Then next is the for volume charge distribution. So in case of volume charge distribution, d sigma is equals to rho dV. So rho here is the charge per unit volume, and we can write VR equals to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught rho R over R dV. Okay. So here in this lecture we discussed we introduced the concept of electrostatic potential. Then we discussed the comments on the electrostatic potential, and finally the potential of localized charge distribution. Thank you.